is one of my proudest moments. The Super Bowl halftime is one of my proudest moments of the show.
Keenan and Eric Gold and those guys came up with the idea to do the halftime show because they had the bands, marching bands playing.
Yeah.
Yo, you know I'm Frosty and I'm talking to you all. I'm your Fresh Prince for the winter, chilling out, standing tall.
I'm like, don't tell me they were the
They
first
got Doritos and I think Pepsi, somebody else. And they was like, we're going to steal
make a
the
halftime.
audience.
Anything that ever went up against the Super Bowl would die. We saw a window, which was halftime, where people normally got up to pee.
The Living Color was at its biggest.
Yes.
We would put our half hour right from the time the play stopped till it started. We put a clock up so people would know when to turn back.
Our Super Bowl countdown clock. It'll be coming on later in the show to let you know when to switch back to the second half. You won't miss any of the senseless brutality.
And it was like,
hilarious.
we take that audience and bring them to In Living Color and did a special In Living Color halftime show.
When halftime came, the entire audience for the Super Bowl turned their channel to In Living Color.
All the viewers scattered, left the Super Bowl, went to Fox, watched this hilarious live In Living Color episode. Yeah, so we stole the audience.
And it was this little show that took on this giant and crushed.
And the next year, they was like, y'all ain't never doing that again.
Yeah.
They paid the biggest star in the world
They hired Michael Jackson.
to come do the halftime show.
And every year since, they've had a humongous star.
Do you think that was the beginning of the halftime show as we know it for the NFL?
Absolutely.
We're responsible for halftime now being this huge event.
Usher, Dr. Dre, J-Lo, all you people that doing the
You're
halftime
welcome.
show, hope you got a big check. Thank you, Keenan. Thank you, In Living Color.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much. The way Keenan is behind and the mastermind of so much stuff and like helping his family to get put on in this way, it's like that is so inspiring to me. It's like that's kind of how I grew up. I grew up in a very artistic family, and my dad had dreams of us being like the Thompson Six. And I grew up as the youngest in that. And I'm like, okay, how are we going to do that? And I was coming up with different things like, okay, let me make this avenue for you. Let me try to help you with this. Let me try to do this for you. And, you know, it's one of those things where sometimes people will find an art and then just want to perform in that art. And so that's something with me, at least a little bit too, where it's like, yeah, I can do art, just like Keenan can do art, but he's also thinking like, what are strategic things that I can do or that he can do to put his show out there, to put his family out there, to put his friends out there. It's like, I think the same in some ways about like Jon Stewart, right? It's like, yeah, he came on to do the Daily Show, but he also, I think there's a rich culture in comedy really for it too. But Jon Stewart's like putting so many people on. Lorne Michael, I don't even know if he's an artist, but he also thinks about, how do I help so many people? And so, yeah, with comedy, like if you don't have community and you're not helping each other, it's going to be really hard to get to the next level. Like they are some of the most hardworking artists that get paid like nothing in the beginning. And they're just traveling and doing all of these shows, hoping to make the right person laugh or to get enough people to laugh. So that's so dope that they came up with a way to compete. And they did, to the point where Michael Jackson was the first. I didn't know he was the first. And that's so interesting that they said they paid him to do it, because now you don't get paid to do the Super Bowl. Like it's now become such a big thing that we just get ready to watch. But then you had this year, somebody tried, MAGA tried to have their Super Bowl. And it apparently was a humongous flop. And they got called out for potentially botting their viewers because no one was in the chat. So now it's like not even a thing to even imagine. I mean, this year could have been closed just because there's a lot of people watching that don't speak Spanish. But for it to be the most watched, it seems like in history now, yeah, they've got something good going. And you now have Jay-Z, who's now in charge of that art. And I think people really close to culture, really close to art, can really dream up some really entertaining things. That's what they do, you know? Marching bands have always been the halftime for football games for so long. And then you have marching bands. Like I was the marching band for a bowl game for college, though. When I was in high school, we won a competition to do that. But yes, this is so wonderful, Mo. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. I love this so much. Like so much. And this is Black History Month. This is perfect. This is perfect. He got them to step it up. They got them to step it up. And side note, by the way, I'm sure the Super Bowl wasn't too upset that people were walking away during halftime because a lot of the sales and the money they make is also in concessions. So they probably were like, what does it matter at first if people walk out or, go to concessions, go and do all of that thing? Because they just made more money. But for it to be the Super Bowl, you want it so enticing that everyone wants to come. And then that allowed them to boost the ticket sales probably from people who just want to be seeing whoever the halftime performer is. Amazing, Mo. Thank you so much for sharing this.